This is Intelligence Analysis Focus on Southeast Asia. Advanced persistent threats and state-sponsored actors are increasingly targeting Southeast Asia, exploiting vulnerabilities in critical infrastructure. These cyber threats pose significant risks to national security and economic stability. Understanding the tactics and motivations of these actors is crucial for developing effective defense strategies and ensuring regional resilience against cyber warfare. Maritime security in Southeast Asia is increasingly strained by South China Sea tensions and territorial disputes. These issues involve multiple nations, complicating diplomatic relations and impacting regional stability. The strategic importance of these waters for global trade heightens the stakes, necessitating robust diplomatic efforts and multilateral agreements to mitigate potential conflicts and ensure safe navigation. Southeast Asia faces a surge in cyber threats, with advanced persistent threat groups intensifying attacks. Indonesia saw 3.64 billion cyber attacks from January to July 2025, an 83.68% increase. Vietnam experienced 659,000 incidents in 2024, impacting 46.15% of agencies. Singapore's advanced persistent threat activity quadrupled from 2021 to 2024, targeting critical infrastructure. State-sponsored actors, notably China-linked groups, are dominating the threat landscape. Google's Threat Intelligence Unit attributes recent attacks to UNC 6384, systematically targeting Southeast Asian diplomats. These attacks employ sophisticated social engineering and malware disguised as software updates, posing significant risks to diplomatic entities. Sidewinder is a formidable threat in Asia-Pacific, focusing on government and maritime sectors. Spring Dragon targets Vietnam, Taiwan, and the Philippines with espionage. Honeymite operates in Myanmar and the Philippines. Toddycat is active in Malaysia, while UNC 3886 targets Singapore's critical information infrastructure across 11 sectors. In Singapore, Minister Josephine Teo highlighted the shift from theoretical to active advanced persistent threats, impacting the economy and society. The nation responded with Exercise Cyber Star, involving 11 critical sectors. Meanwhile, Vietnam faces threats from anonymous Vietnam National Liberation Front, targeting legal, health, and energy sectors in the western provinces, complicating its cyber threat landscape. The South China Sea remains a critical flashpoint, with joint naval operations by Australia, Canada, and the Philippines near Scarborough Shoal, involving over 3,600 personnel. Philippine officials warned China against crossing red lines at Second Thomas Shoal. India-Philippines maritime cooperation has emerged, with joint patrols countering Chinese maritime coercion. The Philippines' warning to invoke the Mutual Defense Treaty with the United States if the BRP Sierra Madre is threatened underscores a serious escalation. China's objection to India-Philippines cooperation highlights its concern over multilateral security efforts potentially limiting its influence in the South China Sea. The Thailand-Cambodia border conflict, lasting 5 days, resulted in over 38 casualties and displaced more than 300,000 civilians. This escalation, the most severe in over a decade, highlights how unresolved colonial-era border disputes and contested temple ownership can quickly ignite tensions, challenging regional integration efforts despite mediation attempts like the Malaysian brokered ceasefire. The Myanmar civil war has intensified, with the military junta controlling 21% of the territory while rebel forces hold 42%. The Arakan Army's significant gains in Rakhine State threaten strategic infrastructure, including the Chinese-invested Kyaukphyu port. This conflict has displaced over 3 million civilians, exacerbating the regional humanitarian crisis and destabilizing security. China is actively involved in Myanmar, attempting to broker ceasefires while maintaining military support for the junta to safeguard its strategic interests. This includes protecting access to critical minerals and Belt and Road Initiative projects. The Myanmar military's election announcement for 2025 seems influenced by Chinese political pressure. Southeast Asia is enhancing defense partnerships to tackle security challenges. The Philippines and Australia are crafting a defense agreement for 2026, enabling joint exercises and infrastructure development. Malaysia, as Association of Southeast Asian Nations chair, mediated the Thailand-Cambodia ceasefire and is bolstering regional security. The Malaysia-Australia High-Level Committee reaffirmed commitments to Operation Gateway and the five-power defense arrangements. Singapore's exercise Cyber Star, the largest national cybersecurity exercise, engaged 11 critical sectors and nearly 500 participants. It tested responses to advanced persistent threats through simulated cross-sector attack scenarios. This underscores Singapore's commitment to coordinated national-level cybersecurity efforts, integrating public and private sector stakeholders to enhance resilience against evolving threats. Vietnam's electricity providers and Indonesian energy facilities are under cyber threat, facing hacktivist and advanced persistent threat activities. The integration of industrial control systems in critical infrastructure introduces new vulnerabilities, risking physical disruptions. Supply chain attacks, like the Shiny Hunters campaign, highlight the broad-scale risks to major organizations, impacting national security and economic stability. Indonesia faces a high terrorism threat, with arrests of suspects in advanced attack stages. Government and law enforcement are primary targets, alongside Western interests and places of worship. Regional cooperation through the Association of Southeast Asian Nations with Malaysia and Brunei focuses on counter-terrorism, addressing cyber-enabled threats and extremist use of digital platforms. The convergence of traditional and cyber threats necessitates comprehensive security strategies. Digital warfare is a key tool in Southeast Asia's strategic competition, while maritime tensions and territorial disputes create physical flashpoints. Internal conflicts, including civil wars and border disputes, destabilize regional security. Economic security is also at risk, with critical infrastructure and supply chains increasingly targeted. Malaysia's mediation in the Thailand-Cambodia border conflict exemplifies effective regional diplomacy in reducing tensions. Joint maritime exercises with Australia, Canada, and the Philippines underscore the importance of coordinated military efforts for navigation freedom. These interventions illustrate the adaptability of security frameworks to modern challenges, offering models for future regional cooperation. Conducting thorough vulnerability assessments of critical infrastructure in energy, telecommunications, and government systems is vital. Integrating cybersecurity into traditional defense planning is crucial for evolving regional security. Enhanced information sharing and coordinated incident response are key to maintaining resilience against sophisticated threats, preventing cascading impacts across sectors. Strengthening multilateral security frameworks is crucial for addressing emerging threats. Integrating cyber and traditional defense strategies through joint planning enhances resilience. Prioritizing critical infrastructure protection prevents cascading failures. Enhancing public-private partnerships fosters collaboration, improving resilience against sophisticated threat actors. Southeast Asia faces a complex security landscape with traditional and non-traditional threats. Cyber activity, especially state-sponsored, is a key strategic tool. Challenges include South China Sea tensions, cyber threats to infrastructure, and civil conflicts. However, multilateral cooperation, improved crisis management, and awareness of cyber-physical security are positive developments.